this is Stacia, and I wanted to share a game that I played at the Parma Chess Club this past week against Butch Kless. Okay, Butch is rated something like 1580 currently, but I believe he's been almost as high as 1700 in the past, and my USCF rating for this game was 1700. Alright, and I played the black pieces. Let's start off with d4, and I went knight f6. This is my standard move against this. And now he went knight f3. So when I see this, I am usually thinking London system. I like to play d5, and then sure enough, bishop f4. I haven't seen him play this before, so I was a little curious as to what he had in store in this line. And I like to play bishop f5, and you get this sort of symmetrical type situation, and I find that the bishop's much better outside the chain, especially if white starts to attack later. I like him as a defender. So e3 was played, e6, and now the move bishop d3, which feels kind of passive to me in a way, to just exchange the attacking light square bishop right off the bat, but it's totally fine. This is theory still. Queen takes d3, and now I'm showing the next book move to be knight b to d7, but I went ahead and played bishop d6, which I think is fine. And he took me as well, and we ended up with this 100% symmetrical position. Or can I say that? Because white's always a tempo up. So it's white to move, he castled. And I thought, hey, why not just play copycat? No, I'm joking. Castling probably is the best move. And now Butch played a good move, c4. I think this is white's only chance at an advantage. I'm going to check with the computer real quick. Yeah, pretty much. Knight b d2, it says a slight edge. Rookie one, it says a very slight edge, like plus 0.01. But c4 is clearly, to me, the best try because I cannot easily play c5 myself. So white's slightly better here. And yeah, how to respond to this? I thought about just developing. Note that if I do something like this and he pushes, I think this is probably a slight mistake. Although it still wouldn't be easy to punish this necessarily, but the pawn is better on c4, probably, influencing more of the center. But I decided to take here. And I normally wouldn't play a move like this, except it doesn't help his development. In fact, I wanted to argue that his queen might be slightly misplaced on c4. Notice, like, now if I go knight b to d7, now there's moves like knight b6. And maybe if a rook was on the c file and I play c5, like, maybe the queen's uncomfortable there, we'll have to move again. So it's fine. It's not great or anything. All right. And then I brought the knight in. He played knight c3, the best move. And I was aware that white is better here just because white has more space in the center. They have this extra center pawn. My c-pawn is actually kind of weak. And on top of that, his knights are on the optimal squares. Well, I have one knight on the optimal square and one knight on d7. And those are just slight edges I like to think about. Because I like to think about silly things. Okay. Yeah, rook f to c8 was my next move. And I actually believe this to be my first mistake of the game. What I believe now is that probably I should go for c5. I need to get c5 in. Yeah, and this is that moment right here. And I didn't play this. Why didn't I play it? Oh, I was kind of nervous about this move. Computer says just go queen b6. Yeah, I can't really argue that. So I really think, I don't mind going 11 moves without making a mistake. That's good, I guess. Any slight mistakes even. But yeah, c5 is the critical break here, and it's only possible now. I think the reason rook f to c8 is a mistake is because it does allow white to get an e4. And I probably shouldn't allow this so easily. Now, I saw e4, and I thought against this I would play e5, which is kind of a cool move. And now, notice if he takes, I can take with the knight, with tempo, and then if he takes, I take, and I guess it's just a game of chess. But he played rook a to d1. And I like this move, getting the rook to the center opposite my queen. And I felt a little uncomfortable. Now he is threatening to take here, and I can't take back with the queen, but I have to move my queen. So I played what to me looked like a very natural move. And this is a key moment of the game, actually. Well, maybe not, but it's a key move to not get significantly worse in this position. So I played queen e7. And there's a problem with this move. And if you'd like to pause the video, do so now, and I'll share what it is. Okay, so the problem is that white takes, and we're going to take with the knight, of course. And now when white takes, we take with the queen. This all looks fine until you see the move f4. And I think after f4, I really like white's position. And the computer says just go back to e7. But like e5. Yeah, I don't know. White has a lot of space here. White has better rooks. White has a more centralized queen. Computer says it's +1, and I definitely agree. I wouldn't want to play black here. So something like this does happen. So let's go back for a second. After rook a to d1, queen e7 doesn't work because of that line I showed with the trades and then a quick f4. So what should we play here as black? Well, it turns out e takes d4 is probably the best move, just as a way to stop that line, mostly, because this doesn't look... I didn't want to play this because of rook takes here, but now queen e7 is possible. And they're not going to get like a quick f4. So just an interesting moment, because after these trades, like I was saying, Butch did find f4, and I really do like this move. And now I had a choice. I need to put the queen somewhere. I thought e7 just seemed passive. I was looking mostly at a5 and even h5, and I actually went with this just because I saw some, vague threats maybe later with stuff like that. Maybe weaken his king. And he played, probably h3 is fine to play right now. I thought just keep the knight out, and that would create more love for the king. But he played rook f3. Which seems okay to me. I mean, I like that the rook has these two possibilities. And now my plan was to play for advancing my queenside majority. It's one of the few things I have in this position. It's really, so I have this 3 versus 2 on the queen side, so if I can advance, then I'll eventually have a passed pawn. But how to do it? Probably c5 right away is okay. But I decided to go a6. Yeah, and here I think e5 is strong. I guess I could throw in b5 here, but I'd be worried about queen here. Is this possible? I guess I can do this. And this position looks messy to me. I don't know if I like this. So, and white has a strong advantage. So e5 was definitely something I was looking at, but he decided to throw in this tempo move, rook h3. It's probably fine. I was planning queen a5 here. But then I remember that old saying, if you find a good move, look for a better one. And this move caught my eye, this queen g4 move, which the computer says is slightly stronger. I like that the queen has more squares here, and that also I'm attacking this pawn. But now e5, and I go knight h5. Yeah, so this is kind of what I had in mind. And then notice there's some threats. I mean, that pawn is pinned. There's this going on too. Kind of an interesting position. And now rook d4 was played. So interesting. Now I want to note that here the computer wants rook f3. And yeah, that's a hard move to play. Because you don't want to go like rook h3, queen g4, rook f3. That seems kind of silly. But I think the idea is to get back behind this pawn and probably push it. This move, rook d4, I thought looked a little bit sloppy just because the rooks aren't connected right now. And although it does create discoveries, I think, yeah, black does have a nice move here. So again, if you'd like to pause your video and figure it out, do so now. Okay, so my plan was, as I was saying, I want to advance my majority. And the problem with b5, and I even saw this during the game, is what I call the queen wedge move. Yeah, queen to c6. And the problem is the queen is now blockading my c pawn, so you can't play c5 anymore. So with that in mind, the correct move here, which I totally missed, was to play c5 first. I really like this move. Come on, computer, you can do it. It's thinking. Maybe I will edit this out. Okay, maybe not. So c5. And then after something like rook e4, now b5. And I think the queen has to just retreat. Nothing more to do. Queen e2, I guess? Yeah, maybe I even take. Why not? Knight takes e2. Yeah, and maybe do this to pivot the knight into the game this way, or maybe even this way. And now this majority is a bit dangerous. And there's an open file, and it looks like I'll get my rooks there without too much trouble. Maybe. The knight is guarding. Yeah, but I can take, and then bring the other rook over. So, yeah, I like this position for black. And computer says it's equal. Seems about right to me. But again, after rook d4, I played the inaccurate b5. Need to go c5 first. Throw in this tempo move. And now he does have queen c6, which I really like. Now I saw this move, and my plan was to take here. Computer actually does like this. But I still like the other way better. So this does pose some problems. I'm threatening mate. So rook g3 was played. And wow, and now there's a crushing blow for black. I actually was not aware of this. Knight h3 check. And the problem is the rook is hanging. Wow. Basic tactics. I do not see them. I want to see them more. That's a nice move. That's a very nice move. But let's wrap this up, because soon I make the game-losing blunder. Queen e6. So yeah, this is what I like to call a Stacia move, because there's the winning move knight h3 check on the board, and instead I go for this queen trade for a slightly better position. I expected him to take, and he did not. He went here. And now I make the game-losing move. I missed his threat, which he's attacking my knight again. It's attacked twice. And if I had to be honest, I think I would say that I didn't see the rook attacking my knight, which is really sad. But this happens in chess. So I took here, but now, he just wins a piece. And so moments like this, I do think, I read in the Chess Tactics from Scratch book, Martin Wettischnick comments, and this really stuck with me, that it's not enough to know what the wrong move or what the losing move is in a game. The real question to ask is why. Why did you not see? And in this case, I didn't see the rook attacking horizontally, and I think that is a common thing for me. I also notice I don't see backwards moves a lot, like backwards queen moves, backwards knight moves. So even horizontal rook moves. So what I'm going to do is make a flashcard of this position so that I remember to look for horizontal rook moves, and that so it's more familiar to me as I review that flashcard. Because after this, I think I was just lost. So takes the pawn, and I'll just show the rest of the game. Because of course, I don't think I should give up here or anything. Queen e1 check is something, but not much. I think my only chance now is to try and get some kind of fork and win a rook or something. But my opponent is too strong for that. Yeah, and I allowed this too. Yep, when it rains it pours, I guess. Queen d4 check. Yeah, king h1, and I no longer notated after this, but I can tell you that he does checkmate me in the end. So, sad game. I do want to go through the game. Let's look at the key moments here. I'm going to turn the computer off. So it was a London system. I like the symmetrical system. And it's interesting how the game started off so boring, but this c4 move gave white that nice slight advantage. I think taking there was fine. Yeah, and now I really need to find c5 here. So if I had to play this game over, I would start by playing c5 instead of the rook here. I think I committed this rook too early. It maybe wants to be on the d8 square. I like e5. That was nice. That was a good move. And now queen e7. So interesting that that's a mistake. But it's because of this continuation. So I need to see lines like this, like f4 coming in with tempo. So that was a key lesson of the game. I actually like queen h5. I thought this was kind of, if I was white, this kind of move would make me a little bit nervous, you know, seeing the knight maybe come into g4 at some point. So, all right. Yeah, and this key mistake. Got to play c5 first. Kick the rook out, then play b5. That was the correct way to do that. Stop this queen wedge move. Yeah, and now here. The winning move was knight h3 check. And this happens in a lot of my games where I miss winning tactics. So that is something I'm going to look for more and more in my games moving forward. As soon as I start finding these types of moves, I think I'll be winning a lot more. So it is kind of exciting to think that maybe some improvement for me is around the corner. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this analysis. I thank you for watching. Please like and comment on my videos. That will make me happy. And have a great day. Bye.